Hi, welcome to the parent presentation for understanding the stressors of the academic year. My name is Dan Jordan. I'm the Assistant Director of Counseling Services. Pamela Moore is our Director, and Jesse Counoir is also one of our clinicians and the AOD Coordinator. An overview of our services here in Counseling Services. We are located in the Griffin Complex on the second floor across from the bookstore. We are open year-round, so if you are enrolled in summer classes, we can certainly go ahead and see you. Our hours are typical, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, individual sessions, and we are doing them virtually for at least the first half of the fall, and we may kind of phase in and in-person services after that. We do provide in-person services for any kind of psychiatric emergency that happens on campus. We are staffed with 3 full-time licensed and trauma certified counselors with 58 years of experience. We also have 3 master's level clinical interns here that students can see to meet the demand that students have. We do offer individual confidential counseling. It is free for every student that is enrolled in taking classes. And we do alcohol and other drug education for our AOD side. We do offer virtual walk-in hours for Thursdays at 2 to 2:30. Those are for any kind of one and done kind of issue. You may have a problem with a roommate, not know how to go ahead and speak with a professor. You may have questions about certain resources. You're unsure about what to do in a particular situation. You just need somebody to bounce some ideas off of. That's for our virtual walk-in hours every Thursday from 2 to 2:30. Students can just come right in, use the link, and come right into that and get the help that they need. We do provide psychoeducation during those things, and we also provide a little bit of triage for that in case you need something more. We consult with staff, faculty, students all the time on different particular issues and help them out with whatever particular information or psychoeducation that might be appropriate for them. We also provide crisis services for our residents 24/7 and provide a host of educational programs throughout the year for staff and students and faculty. We also have a social media presence on Instagram, which we do provide an awful lot of psychoeducation about coping skills and all kinds of helpful tips for mental health. And that you can give our handle down there at GMercyU Counseling Services. That's on Instagram. If you need to get in touch with us, if you have a question or a concern about AOD, it's aod@gmercyu.edu. And if your student wants to come to us and refer themselves to counseling, please feel free to give out this email. It's very easy, counseling@gmercyu.edu. Now, today, we're just going to go over a couple of things. This is sort of the agenda, talking about some change and talking about some personal development, commuter issues, some warning signs so you know what to look for as a parent so you can help somebody get to the right place when they need to, what helps and what does not, also some other information on alcohol and other drugs, and to take care of yourself as a parent. We provide some information for you too. And then a list of resources for you that you may kind of need and find very helpful for yourself. And we get to sort of change, and the only thing really is constant. I mean, if anything has been in the last 18 months, the only thing we can really say that's been very consistent is change. We've had to change to an awful lot of stuff. And for first-year students coming in, it is a great opportunity to really come onto a campus and have something finally in 18 months that has seemed rather normal for a particular college semester, coming in, moving in, having all of that. All of that's normal. It's just COVID sort of made the normal stressors kind of bump up a little bit for all of that. And there's a lot of uncertainty revolving around of that. And you may be even uncertain in terms of and have some anxieties about COVID and how that's really handled here on campus and those types of things. Certainly talking to people, that's a little bit uncomfortable now that you're with people. How does that kind of happen? But also the uncertainties that are normal for college freshmen, which is growing up and having those changes and the uncertainty of, I'm not really sure if what I want to do or what to major in, those types of things. That kind of uncertainty is really normal. It's just COVID also bumped that kind of up a little bit. And the uncertainty of what to expect in a college semester. Now, the academic year is really interesting when it comes to time and how you utilize time, but also what happens throughout the academic year, month to month. There are some specific things that really do happen there. But if I have to give you one word of advice, it would be really to stress to your particular son or daughter the importance of time management, because there's really kind of the schedule that is very open, let's say. Yes, you might have 18 credits, you might be taking those particular classes, but there's an awful lot of free time. And how do you utilize free time? They may not have done that. K through 12 has taken care of pretty much a giant structure system, and going in from 7:30 to like 3 o'clock in the afternoon really took care of that structure. Now it's kind of a different structure. It does provide some structure, meaning every week at Tuesday at whatever, you're going to have a class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. You're going to have that same schedule for the entire year, but the amount of time that you're going to spend in there is drastically different. And so you may have a class at 9 o'clock in the morning and nothing until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What are you doing in the time in between? And what are you doing on the days where it's really heavy versus the days where it's not? And if you have time, you may not have anything from 3 o'clock until, the next day. How are you utilizing that time? Knowing how that is really coming about for your particular son or daughter is going to be really important. Do they have experience doing that? And it gets interesting as time goes on. September is really a time where you kind of need to establish that as a habit. But if you don't, understand that there's still more time in the semester to do so. But October is a really difficult time. September is really kind of a fun month, getting to know people, getting to know your classes, meeting new people, having new experiences, all that kind of stuff happens in September. October, if you don't have good time management and good study habits, October is really where the rubber meets the road academically. And we see an awful lot of stress and an awful lot of strain coming as the academic rigors of the semester come full bore. And then November is kind of compounding some of those issues if they haven't adjusted well to October. November is kind of compounding those. And then there's some breaks in there that are very well met and very well needed. And then we have December. The first week of December is usually finals week, and we have the stress of that. And that might be the first time that somebody's actually felt that type of stress and all of that. So it's really difficult. January, kind of same thing as September. You're adjusting back in, but it may come with added stress if the first semester had not gone well. Or if there's things to really kind of clean up from the first semester, you may need to do that in January. February, kind of getting used to the semester and really kind of getting used to that. Again, time management being really important and study habits. And then March and April are really difficult months. March is really kind of much like October, where a lot of academic stress and a lot of issues really come to surface. And then April is really where finals, people are starting to catch up, starting to really try and put best foot forward to end off their first academic year in a really good way. And sometimes that is really difficult for some students. So really having a sense for where the stress points are, knowing that October, November, and then March and April are really difficult months, it's really using September and January, kind of February to really bump up and really suggest to them, hey, it's really important for you to get good study habits and good routine, good structure to your days and your weeks, and good time management. It's really important to stress that. It's also important to note that their personal development is really coming full circle. So they're developing themselves, developing their own identity, developing their own responsibilities, again, their time management and all that, and how they study and what do they do. Also developing what they like. And that could be certain classes or changing a major or even involving relationships. And so evolving relationships, or even with people that they know, their friends are evolving. And that is kind of a stressor. The people that they know may not necessarily be the people who they're going to really be in relationship with towards the end of their college career. But also your relationship with your son or daughter is going to be changing as well. Your role is changing as a parent. It's evolving and becoming something more like a guide, a mentor for this time period, especially with things that they may not have had experience doing, such as making a doctor's appointment on their own. And that's something. And here they're going to have to be able to speak up and do that for them. So some tips for success is really kind of get to know where those opportunities to give that guidance and push them forward, talking to their professors, asking for what they need, asking for help if they need it, if they need to go to the campus health center. Okay. Pushing them forward and speaking up and getting that. But also we know that getting involved on campus in some way, shape, or form in a club, or getting involved here in the university's social life, is really an important piece. We know that students are more involved and more hooked up with things on campus and more interests, that they do better academically. And so that's really kind of a good thing to stress. And also stressing making smart choices for themselves. So this is where you can have discussions about what you expect of them academically, what you expect of them behaviorally, what you expect them to sort of come to you with. What are your expectations for them, for their relationships, for drug and alcohol use? What do you kind of expect of them? And all these things, and really anything is open for discussion. So I really encourage you as parents to have these discussions with them. If you haven't already, please make a list of your particular concerns and go through them with your child one at a time. It's really to reinforce what you expect of them. So commuters are really kind of a separate set, making sort of a little bit of a shift because they're not staying here on a college campus. They're not part of our residence life program, but they are traditional students. They are traditional students who come here as a freshman, and they have many similar transitions and some losses and some opportunities. Certainly if they're not living here on campus, there might be sort of a loss of that sort of college experience, but the opportunity to actually get involved and be involved in the college and what we offer here is really open to any student. And so that's really an important piece, is a stress to your particular commuter student that they can be involved here on campus. You don't have to just kind of eat lunch in your car. You don't have to do that. You don't have to just leave after you have classes. You can get involved in meetings, and you can get involved in clubs and any of the other activities we have here on campus. Challenges around feeling in charge. I'm in college, but do I really have to follow your house rules? Yeah, the answer to that is yes, probably, but you may have to really kind of look at where that freedom and also what you're allowing and what you're not allowing, to have in your particular house, and your house rules regarding them and their time and when they come in, when they come out, just maybe a little more and a little more freedom to develop that sense of self, with also having that sense of safety that are around as well. Again, that's a negotiation, and negotiating with your child of having that freedom and more than probably what they were in high school. But how are you negotiating, and what are your expectations? But this also gets into their expectations of themselves and what they expect of you. That's a good conversation to have. So how might you support them in making those connections on campus, but also how do you support them in making the connections to the supports that they may need from time to time? Because help seeking is really an important skill set, and there's no shame in seeking help. We all need help from time to time. Again, we're counseling, so if they need that, we're here for that. But they also may need it academically, and there's supports here on campus for that as well. So some warning signs for you as parents. So these are general warning signs. Again, if you see something that seems out of place for your son or daughter, definitely say something, definitely bring it up to them. And so if there's a decline in hygiene, They're less engaged with you in conversations. Now, they may also be busy academically, so that might be the case. But if they just are generally sort of a change in behavior with that, they normally will talk to you, but now they're less engaged. They're giving you infrequent information, whereas before they were very disclosive. This just might be a change that you may have to ask more questions about. And so, not looking at the camera or seeming very distracted while they're on some like Zoom calls with you or something like that. Or maybe they just happen to not seem very distracted if they're taking an online class. That may also be there as well. So if they're ending their phone calls or video chats early or dragging them on for extended periods of time, like it may seem like they have something to say, but they're not really getting to it. They're beating around the bush a little bit. That may be something that's a red flag for you. Not responding or engaging in any of your family or group chats, or leaving on read for text and just not responding. It's just sort of not ghosting you, but really kind of just not responsive. You know they got the text, but they're kind of taking a couple of hours to do so. Declining to actually speak with you, or if the content of their social media is taking a turn for the more sad and more kind of anxiety-ridden types of things, pay attention to those. Those are warning signs. And anything that your gut is telling you is off, go ahead and say something. Actually have a conversation with them about that concern so that you can better get them the help earlier. And if there is something wrong, take care of it earlier and with some good supports. So what is helpful during all of this time for all of the transitions that they're going through? What helps is encouragement. What doesn't help is giving you a little lecture on a whole bunch of stuff that, oh, well, in my day, yeah, don't give a lecture. And don't give hard and fast rules either. Help them plan, help them get through the time management stuff, help them, if it's weather related stuff and travel, help them time that out. It may be the only time or the first time that they've had an opportunity to really do that. So be very flexible with that and be very understanding and patient with it as well. And this is really going ahead and being a holder of the faith of them. So you're providing that positive sense that, hey, you can get through this, it's fine. And the expectation is, yeah, you kind of may need some help, but it's also giving advice when it's appropriate. Here's a trick. Ask them if they want your advice. If they don't want it, they'll tell you. If they do want it, they will definitely tell you, but always ask. Provide a safe space for them. It's really kind of a good thing. Let them know that you're there, that you're going to listen to them, and be that safe place for them, because they still need you. They still need your expertise. They still need your guidance. Okay. What not to do is have some hard, fast rules. Like, hey, if you're doing this, then that's it. We're done. Then that's not really kind of a good thing. Don't show up unannounced if they live in the residence halls. Don't do that. Make some kind of planned type of visit where you can take them out once every week for lunch or whatever. Do that kind of thing. Or maybe it's once a month. You kind of do that. That's fine. Don't be a helicopter parent or even restricting their privacy or invading their privacy. And also, for good money management, don't be their ATM. If they don't have the money, guess what? They don't have the money. They may just have to live with that for a little bit. And that's really difficult to do. I understand that, but it also may be a good lesson for them as well. But also the last one, what doesn't work, is turning a blind eye, okay? And this goes back to what we were talking about just in the slide just prior, is if your gut's telling you something's going on, don't turn a blind eye to it. Actually address it, address the issue right up front. So to trust or not to trust, this also goes back with the expectations and also having these discussions, adult kind of discussions with them, which is kind of uncomfortable for them and it may be even uncomfortable for you. But again, it goes back to this type of level of trust. And so students that feel trusted have more self-confidence. They can stand up for what they believe, but they can also ask for help when they need it. Okay. They know they have a support back home, which is you guys, and they're better able to say no when the situation warrants it. So trust them. You've done some good job right now. You've done what you needed to do. Your job's not done, but you've done what you needed to do. Let them go ahead and fly with a little more freedom, and also trust them that they kind of will come to you if they need to. Okay. Students that don't feel trusted may just be defiant. And we've seen that before because defiance is expected. And they may not communicate to you about what's happening in college. So they may not communicate very well because they just don't trust that whatever it is that they have to say is going to end up being something that's going to be validated or even supported. And if they don't trust, they're going to definitely look to others for support. And some of that support may just not necessarily be the best influence on them. And so keeping secrets is also part of that. If they don't trust you, then they're going to keep secrets, and that can also be harmful. Again, some secrets, they don't tell everybody everything, but you don't want to have them have an issue or a problem and not be able to come to you. So a little bit of our alcohol and other drugs, just so you know, we do have a RAISE program, which is reducing the alcohol incidence on campus. And so it's a program that just is social norming. We do safe colleges. That's a whole program that we have for every incoming freshman. And the philosophy of prevention efforts is really to do the social norming so that they're safe with alcohol and other drugs, and then they can come to us if they have a problem, they have a question for that. And the social norming really kind of lets people know that most of our students are not really going ahead and partying like Animal House. That's not what's happening. But when they come in and they take the surveys, we know that 3/4 of them are thinking that the average student is drinking a lot. But that's really not the case. The very, very, very small majority are actually doing that. So we have that, but also know that they're going to engage in those particular things. Part of our AOD program is also making sure that they know what to do and to be safe while they're doing it if they choose to do so. And so medical amnesty and the Good Samaritan policies are things you can refer them to so they can go ahead and know those. Medical amnesty is a great one. So if there is a medical issue with alcohol or other drugs, medical amnesty says that they kind of are going to go ahead and basically not get in trouble. Good Samaritan is, hey, if you're helping out, that kind of stuff, you're not going to get in trouble either. So good policies to reference for the student handbook, and good policies for you to know as a parent so you can refer your son or daughter to those policies if necessary. What to look for with this. So if alcohol and other drugs is becoming a problem, again, if your gut's telling you that something's off, absolutely address it. It could be alcohol or other drug kind of program. So we're looking at some of the similar types of problems. So withdrawal, isolation, they're isolating from you. They're not really going ahead and talking to you as much. And you're noticing that there's a decline in their grooming, hygiene. Their academic performance is sliding, and that's not really kind of about that typical for them. Getting aggressive, being more irritable from time to time, outside of what would be normal for them. And just being rebellious and doing certain things. Extreme fatigue is part of that. So if they're sleeping more, they just seem sluggish and just kind of foggy a lot. That could be it as well. Problematic emotions like depression, anxiety, but also irritability. Those kind of mood swings might be outside of what's normal for them, and decreased interaction with the people that they do have as friends that they just kind of do, and drastic changes in their friend group. So a lot of similarities to other things and other warning signs, but these are signs that may kind of indicate alcohol and other drug use, and difficulty with managing some of that. So if you see these, definitely go ahead and address it. So you guys, it's a lot to lay on you guys as parents. I don't mean to scare you guys, that's for sure. It was to emphasize that we have an awful lot of support here on campus for them. And so that you as parents can also be safe knowing what to address with them, and some resources like this particular presentation so you can go ahead and have conversations with them up front, but also ongoing, so that you can have a healthy relationship, but also help them out when needed. But we also know that you guys are going through that particular change as well. It may be the last child that you have going off, maybe the only child. And so that empty nest for you, your significant other, or say you're married, your father, child too, all of those particular changes are happening. And even if you're divorced, guess what? It's happening to your other half. That's true. Or, well, your ex half, to put it that way. It's happening to them too. So you guys need to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves. It's tough to watch your kid go off and be there. It's scary. I get it. I'm doing that too. So for my child. So I know that that's something that comes with an awful lot of anxiety and an awful lot of concern. And it's very well known that there are concerns that are out there. So it's happening there, but it's also happening for their siblings. If they have, other younger siblings, and this is the first one to go off to college, it's happening for them too. So it's a change. Definitely is a new phase, but it's also a normal phase for people to start sort of spreading their wings and getting out of the nest. It's for that. You want to see that happen. Even though it's scary, it's also normal. But it's also known that if you take care of yourself, the better off you are with taking care of everybody else. So please know that everything that you're feeling is normal, but also know that once you kind of start taking care of yourself, the better off you are with taking care of everything else, including whatever you do for work. It really does help out. So take care of yourselves, take care of the rest of your family as well. Your job's not done, the one that's going off to college. So whatever phase you are in your own kind of journey in your family, take care of you. You're the most important. You're the lead of that family. So take care of yourselves, okay? Now back to Instagram before we get to some resources. This is what it looks like on our Instagram page. You can actually reference a lot of this. A lot of parents like to go ahead and know what counseling service is putting out there. So we do an awful lot of coping skills, an awful lot of psychoeducation. Again, Take Care Tuesdays, great stuff, self-care, a lot of really good stuff. And a lot of really good information is found on there on our social media. Students tend to engage with it, but you can also send those kinds of things to your son or daughter on social media just as a good thing. So if they need to take care of themselves, hey, send them some messages from our self-care kind of tab right there. And if you need help with self-care, definitely take a look at that tab. It can help you out as well. So like us on social media. And these are some other resources for you as well. Again, the general number for the university, but Academic Resource Center, that's for all things academic. They also have academic coaching, which is really good stuff. Again, the AOD, Campus Ministry, Career Development, really good stuff for those students who are not sure what to do or what kind of major to have, or even changing majors. Counseling services, it's what we do here. We're good at it. We love it. And if they need our help, that's what's there for them. Again, the extension is not the best way to get in touch with us. It's really our email. All you have to do is just email us at counseling@gmercu.edu. Health and Wellness Center is kind of like an urgent care, but it's right here on campus. Again, 9 to 5, but it's there for them. I think they have a doctor on staff a couple of days a week. I can't really speak to exactly what days are, but hey, if they need something over the counter kind of stuff, but also they have the ability to go ahead and give out prescriptions if they need to, Z-Packs, all kinds of stuff that are just general kind of wellness and health for that. Public safety is there if you need it. Residence life, if your son or daughter is on campus, and student activities to get in touch and really kind of get hooked in with campus. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you listening and being here with us. Welcome to Gwynedd. And if you need us at any time, just let us know and refer your son or daughter if they need to. So thank you very much for your time. And hopefully we'll see you again, or see your son or daughter if they need something. Thank you.